Hello. Hi, everyone. How goes it? Very unorthodox stream today. Just wanted to, you know, find a way to update everyone on what's going on. Hi. Picture looks so cute. Yeah, thank you. I animated this a little while ago when I was planning on playing more Final Fantasy, but that kind of fell through. Nothing good has ever referred to as recent events. Well, I mean, there was a hurricane. Thank you to Purest Potato for the 7 months. JoCat, more like BroCat. Saurus Crane for the 5 months. Time flies when you're hanging in this stream. ZT107 for the 31 months. Holy crap. Glad to see you're back. Hope everything is good after Ida. Yeah, I'll be talking about that. Miss Tweetums, thank you for the 19 months. Yeehaw. And the Gamer King for the 8 months. Hello. Thank you. But yeah, I'll still wait. How's being yeeted across the country? Okay, you know. Yeah, I'll wait for a little bit more people to join in, so that I'm not having to repeat myself over and over. But yeah, I mean, long story short, things are okay. I'm at Echo's tiny house, Echo Gillette, my partner. She was kind enough to let me come stay at her place while everything kind of falls through with the hurricane. You know what really sucks, though, is when I arrived, when I finally flew here, the very next day I got here, the power to my house came back. So I didn't even need to fly out. I just needed to wait out just a little bit longer. But I guess I wouldn't have known. Hurricane, yeah, Hurricane Ida. Thank you, Blue Phoenix, for the 8 months. Yeah. But it does mean that I get to stay with my girlfriend for about 2 weeks. 3 weeks, actually, because I'm gonna be going to Gen Con soon. Yeah. I like her a lot. Right now she's at I think it's her aunt's house. Like, pretty close by. Just doing laundry and stuff, because she has a little tiny house in the middle of the woods. By the way, let me know how the audio sounds as well. If the music is too loud or too quiet. I sound fine. That's good. I'm on my Blue Yeti. I wasn't able to bring my XLR mic, so I'm on my Blue Yeti, so it might sound a bit bassier than normal, because the Blue Yeti's gain is massive. I don't hear the music here. I'll turn it up. Hold on. Just so the notifications aren't like... I gotta make sure the notifications don't blow your ears out. There we go. Maybe you can hear that. Because I can't change the notification. I'm using... So I'm on a Mac. I'm on, Echo's Mac. Right now. Let me find... How do I change the volume here? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Wolfkins, for the 1300 bits. For the Traveling Joe, thank you. There we go. How does that sound for everyone? Also, you might hear a dog outside. Very good. Okay, good. I gotta find a way to lower the volume. 1 second. So that that barking outside, that's Echo's dog. His name is Ben, and he's kind of a guard dog. But once you get to know him, he's a big softie. Let's see, how... I don't know how to navigate a Mac. Oh, geez. How do I change volume on Mac? Because I have no idea, I'll be honest. Just trying to lower my own volume. On the keyboard? Okay. Ah, I see. That's not it. I can't... Jeez. Near the direction keys. Well, hers, it's on, like, F1, F11, and F12, but when I do it, it doesn't do anything. Whatever. It's alright, I'll just have my headphones around my neck. Function button. Okay, function button. Function. Nope, that didn't do it. Okay, well, that's okay. I'm just hanging my my headphones around my neck. So long as it's not too loud for you guys, it should be fine for me. Yeah, I tried FN11 and F11, F12, but it's fine. It's fine. Thank you, SCP Red Mage, Jorgenhell, Lar GK, and Nightshade Guardian. Nearly maintained this sword and shield for 2 years now. Very good choice of the superior. Oh yeah, you're 1 month away. So yeah, yeah, okay, so Necrohunt. Let me start at the beginning. For those who don't know, just recently, I live in Louisiana, just recently Hurricane Ida just blew through, and that knocked out a big chunk of the state's power. And that included me, and my power was out for just about a week. And towards the end of that week, I decided to fly out to Echo's place. Echo is my girlfriend, Echo Gillette, decided to house me for a little bit. So that unfortunately meant that that Wednesday and this coming Wednesday, Necrohunt will be canceled. However, Necrohunt will return back to normal schedule on the 22nd. On September 22nd, so 2 weeks from now, Necrohunt will return back to normal schedule. It unfortunately also means that 2 of my videos that I planned on having out by now have been delayed, and that is including a very special animation that I wanted to finish that should be done very, very soon, hopefully. But since it's not, and I feel bad about asking you guys this, the Kobold plush. There's a Kobold plush as designed by Chris Zito. If you remember the Goblin plush, I wanted to make an animation for this, and I am still working on it as best I can out here in the woods. A Kobold plush that for a limited time, if you do !Kobold, yeah, you'll get a link to go buy it. You have until the beginning of October. But yeah, the damage to my house is fine. Like only a few shingles on my roof are blown off. Otherwise, my house is fine. No flooding, no broken pieces, no broken windows. My house is fine. So I got very, very lucky. It's just power and internet, and that's all. My car is fine. My car was in the garage the whole time. The wind was a little bit strong. I'm safe. I'm fine. I sustained no injuries. The worst that happened to me is that living out in the woods, we had to deal with quite a few bugs. That's it. That is the worst that has happened to me, dealing with bugs. But everything is fine. And quite a few things happened while I was coming here. So when I flew here, it's funny. I flew here. When did I fly here? I flew here last Saturday. And then Sunday, the power came back to my house, but I wasn't wanting to stay there much longer because how we were maintaining power was my mom was going out and buying gas for her generator, and I was staying at my parents' house because my parents' house is within walking distance, essentially, very, very close, about like 2 miles out. And basically that was my mom's every day, just driving out to like another city, like about an hour away, because staying where we were and getting gas there took just the same amount of time as driving somewhere like 2 hours out to get gas and then coming back. So that's what she did every day. It was like she would drive out, get gas, fill the generator, maybe help cook and clean, then the next day drive out, get gas, fill the generator. And it was kind of miserable, and anyone who lives in the deep south of the US knows that it is hot and humid. I was sweaty all the time. But yeah, did the airline fix your PC issue? No, because and I understand why. I can't blame them. So those of you who don't know, after I flew here, I brought my entire computer because I need to work. I can't be 3 weeks away without finishing some of my work, especially with the Cobalt plush. Oh my god, the hurricane is the worst timing, because it stopped my animation for the Cobalt plush. It stopped Necro Hunt for longer than I would want. It's such bad timing. But basically, I brought my tower with me, and I basically had to pack my tower, my keyboard, my monitor, one monitor, not two, and my mouse. And the airline was rough with my cargo, with my suitcase, and basically broke both my monitor and my keyboard, so I had to go out and get a new one. Now, I could not get compensated because I did not check my luggage within 24 hours. Yeah, so because I didn't check my luggage within 24 hours, I think I checked it like 2 days after, it was too late, and so I had to go out and get a new one. Luckily, it's a very nice keyboard. It's nice and quiet. I don't like the clicky keyboards, because although they feel nice, they pick up on the microphone. Yeah, well, you have to see it from their perspective, right? It's like they can't know if it was broken while not under their care, right? So if I had checked my bag... So now I know, in hindsight, that I should have checked my bag immediately after my flight. For my cargo, because then if it's within 24 hours, then it's, you know, liable, and they know that it's most likely because of them. Commander! Was that Commander that raided me? Thank you, Commander! Holy crap, welcome everyone! Not a very interesting stream this time around. Because I'm just catching up. It's just chatting stream. Hello, thank you, Commander, for the wonderful support. Yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive. I survived the hurricane. I survived Hurricane Ida. I'm fine. But yeah, just talking about what happened. But yeah, throughout that entire week, basically, I had no internet, no data, because all the telephone lines and radio towers were knocked down by the hurricane. So I was kind of out of the loop for everything that happened. But I flew out to Echo's place, and now I'm all fine. I can't do things on my computer because for some weird reason, the Wi-Fi unit that Echo has picks up fine on her computer, on her Mac. She gets like 50 down and like 60 up, which is fucking amazing. But my computer gets like 5 megabytes down and 1 up. And it's inconsistent. It's like sometimes it'll just knock off, and I don't know why. But yeah, so I'm streaming from her computer right now. Yeah. I can see their point. Yeah, me too. Like they can't know if I just like had a bad Uber driver who messed it up, right? Use Ethernet. I don't have a long enough Ethernet cord, unfortunately. Yeah. But yeah, it's yeah. Things are going. A bit of news happened over the week, and I feel like I don't know if it's bad for me to talk about it so late into it, but that whole Arcadum news, considering I'm, you know, big into the D&D community, I stand by the victims, and I do hope that they can heal and move past it. But I guess I can talk about my experience with him for those who are interested. Yeah, long story short, Arcadum turned out to be a creep and very manipulative and kind of just not very cool to a lot of people. If you want to read the thread on it, you can look up Naomi on Twitter, Momo, and like 20 other people that he was pretty shitty to. Please don't bring it up in their stream. Don't bring it up to them, because they moved past it. They're trying to heal. And don't go ragging on Arcadum, because, you know, he doesn't deserve your time. But what I wanted to say was it's very interesting to hear about this, because when I played in his game, I played in Pride of the Nightwolf as a player, and I never mentioned this before outside of a few inside friends, that playing for him was very frustrating. Because a lot of... Now, of course, at the time, I was in the mindset of, well, it's just his style of running the game. His style of running the game is not the game that I like to play, because, you know, not everyone meshes well in D&D. But when I was playing under him, when I brought up some feedback, and it wasn't just me, but it was another player as well, which I will keep anonymous, you know, which one it was. But it was me and another player, and we were not enjoying the game for various reasons. Basically, we were like, well, all the NPCs are having all the roleplay moments. Everything seems urgent. We never get a chance to roleplay, and all of that stuff. And I was like, hey, this system wasn't fun, and that, this, and that, and this. And one example, when we were storming the bandit camp, all of us wanted to do something while this horse was riding towards us, and we were all deciding and planning what each of us were going to do, but he kept moving the token closer as we were discussing, and we were like, oh, okay, I guess we just gotta speed up. And so only Monty got a chance to do what she wanted to do before things just went off the rails, and then we were like, okay, change of plans. And so we brought this up with him, and we were like, hey, could you have a system to set up a timer for each of us? So if you still want to keep... I understand he wants to keep the urgency, but I can understand he wants us to feel as urgent as the characters, but I was like, that's not very fun. And could you maybe set up a system to give us each a limited amount of time, maybe 1 minute or 30 seconds to plan each? And what he said to me was like, oh yeah, I did that. And I was like, did you though? I didn't want to say that he was lying, because maybe he did, but it didn't feel that way. And I brought that up with him, right? And I was like, okay, well, it doesn't feel like you did. Maybe you did, but it didn't feel that way. And I brought that up with a lot of things. Every time I mentioned a thing about the game that I wasn't having fun, he would always be like, oh, well, I did this and that and this and that, and explanations and justifications and everything like that. And it got to the point where I was just like, that's cool that you have all these things, and you... Oh man, and he threw calculations out, and all of the, oh, you guys are 33.7% more efficient in combat. And I'm like, all right, cool, but it's still not fun. You're spending 30 minutes having the NPCs talk with each other. You're not giving us enough downtime to roleplay. And he would always throw it back as if it was our own fault. Whenever we would be like, hey, it felt like there was no chance for us to roleplay, and how he would say it wouldn't be aggressive, but the words that he would say were frustratingly victim blamey. He would be like, oh, well, you could have roleplayed anytime you wanted, or oh, well, you could go off the rails anytime you wanted, but it didn't feel that way. And when I bring that up with him, he said to me, whenever I said that's cool, it's great you have all these justifications and explanations, that's cool, but it's still not fun. But we're not having fun. And his response was, sorry you feel that way. And, although that phrase itself is triggering to me personally, more so I was sad at what it meant. And what it meant was, your fun is not a big priority to me. Which makes me question, if the enjoyment of the players is not your main priority when you run D&D, why not write a book instead? And it's very funny and interesting that all of my gripes that I had with him while playing under him have been amplified with all of this controversy that has come out with him. And I find that very interesting, that it's okay, it wasn't just me. It's not just me that was bothered by all of that stuff. Now, granted, I got the least bad of it. I was very diplomatic with him, and I think that helped. Other people got the worst. I didn't get... So I got these, micro things that kind of were, little red flags, but that's all they were. They were red flags, but it really goes to show to me, that these red flags were part of a bigger thing with him. Yeah. And like, oh man, none of our backstories got a chance to get fleshed out or anything. And like, so many times he would say like, oh, well, that's because I'm running 4 games a week. And I'm thinking like, but that's not our fault. Why are we suffering for your choice? You know? You're the one who chose to run 4 games a week. What you're saying is you can't run a good game of D&D because you're running 4 games. Then why are you running 4 games? Run less. And like, you might, you know, the devil's advocate in me is like, well, you know, 10 sessions isn't enough to flesh out a character, right? But, and pardon my jerking myself off real quick, but like, look at Necrohunt. We are 9 sessions in. How much of the characters' backstories have been implemented into the main story? Nathaniel's, you know, son showed up. We went to Luna's grave. We not only talked to Enoch's, you know, like, guardian in the first session, we went to a church that his character, that he established, that was not a part of the world. Nathaniel, again, you know, the Witch Taker is a faction. The Witch Takers is a faction that exists in the world that he was able to do and talk with and use, you know? I feel like 10 sessions is enough. But anyway, I'm done talking about him. I'm just venting, I guess. This is finally my chance to vent now that it turns out that he's not that cool of a guy, and I don't feel bad about venting about it. But yeah, it's all past now, and I feel a little bit bad for bringing it up so much later after everything has been over with. But yeah. I'll admit, the reason why I was never talked about it before now was because I was afraid of how big and dedicated his audience was, that I would seem like such a crybaby and just a whiner, that I was complaining about, like, oh, you don't know how good you have it, you got to play an Arcadum's game. It's like, yeah, but it wasn't very fun. Anyway. Yeah, like Among Us. That's why I never play Among Us. Yeah, anyway, we're done talking about that guy. I just wanted to talk about it because, I don't know, just a slight involvement and being part of the D&D community, I feel like I should. But, yeah, don't be like that guy. Thank you, Chaotic Lumia. PC compensation fund. My PC's fine, don't worry, but thank you. Thank you for the well done steak. I don't know if that was a well done. My notifications are weird, but thank you. My PC is fine. I have enough money stored up that I did manage to buy a new monitor and keyboard. So they're both very, very nice, the monitor and the keyboard. Man, I'm kind of sad because that old monitor, it got me through college. I've had that since I had my laptop, since I was working on my laptop, and it was my second monitor for the longest time. It was great. It was nice. But I guess this will be my new monitor. It's actually got a hinge. My current main monitor doesn't have a hinge, so I have to like prop it up on a book so that it's angled. What did I buy? It's just an HP. It's an HP monitor, nice and reliable. I was looking for a 144 hertz monitor, but they didn't have any in the store, and I don't feel like waiting on Amazon to deliver because we're out in the middle of nowhere, and by the time it delivers, we'll have to go anyway. Yeah. Such a ray of sunshine. Thank you. I would say every sunshine has its sunspots as well. You know, I'm not one to say that I don't get a little bit irritable sometimes. What happened to the old one? It broke in cargo while I was flying in my when I opened my suitcase a couple of days after I landed. It was broken. If you look on Twitter, you can see. Especially all the honestly, I love Necrohunt so far, especially all the inclusion and consent requests. Yes, I care so much about my players and how they feel. That was another thing. Oh, sorry I'm going back to Arcadum, but that was another thing he never did that really reinforced the fact that he didn't really care what the players thought, was that once the session was over and the stream ended, he would just bounce immediately, never asking how we felt, never asked what we liked, never asked what we disliked. It took me and the other player that didn't enjoy the game to force him to like basically be like, we have to talk about the game because we have to talk about what we didn't enjoy. And of course, you know, as I mentioned, it was replied with excuses and justifications. Anyway, sorry. Yes, I care about my players, and I don't care about messing up the, I mean, I care about the production of my stream, but also I'm willing to cut it short. As you saw with the last session, and I apologize for anyone that it triggered, and I talked with Aaron about it, and we talked about it, and he's all good now, and he's taking all of my suggestions for him as a player like a champ. He is taking it so well. You know, when Enoch did the thing where he put trigger warning guns and suicide, he had his character put a gun up to his head to threaten to shoot himself to get the demon out of his head. And at that moment, you can listen. If you listen back on the stream, I said, I'm going to stop you right there, you know, because I wasn't comfortable with it, and I'm okay with revealing behind the curtain that a couple of the other players weren't comfortable with it either. But we talked about it. And I think that's important. It's important to talk with your players and to talk with your DM, and that's what we did. And I thank Aaron so much for being willing to basically compensate for that and basically make a compromise. That's the word I was looking for, to compromise. And like, the fact that he was willing to compromise means so much and already makes him such a much better player than he was last week. And even in the first session when Enoch pulled the gun. Now, pardon Aaron. Aaron is a Fluff Squad. Thank you for gifting 5 subs. Thank you. Oh, that's very generous of you. And thank you, Irish Mallard and Ebon Sky. Sorry, I'm just talking a mile a minute, but like when at the beginning in session 0, I said no PvP. Don't make a character that will conflict with the other characters, or if you do, either change them or make a new one. And I think Aaron is still getting used to that because he's still a new player as much as he is a forever DM. But you know, I told him, like, you know, when he pulled the gun on Nathaniel, I said, wait, hold on, player consent. Davy, are you okay with this? And Davy said yes. You know, I ask my players if they are okay with it first, you know, and I talk with them out of game. I can't imagine a DM that is unwilling. I can't imagine any good DM not talking with their players about how they feel about the game, you know. Well, it's practice, Spartan 459. It is a lot of practice, and taking criticism is hard. That is why I give so much props to Yarrow, to Aaron, because I have been bombarding him with critique after critique after critique after suggestion after suggestion, and I feel honestly really bad about it. But I know that it's needed. I know that it's needed for the betterment of the other players, and I know that it's needed for the betterment of himself to be a better player as well. You know, like, because it's not just on the DM to make a good game, it's on the players as well, and there are things that you need to do as a player for the game to be good. So, you know, show Aaron all of your support. I know some people have been frustrated with some of how he plays as well, and I have been as well, but he is improving, and he's doing so well. He's doing so well. Even if he stumbles and even if he forgets and all of this stuff, the fact that he's listening and he's making an honest effort to improve speaks a lot to him as a person. Because everyone makes mistakes, but what matters isn't that whether you make mistakes or not. What matters is what you do afterwards. Most new players shove themselves into a corner. Yeah. I love all the characters, whether it's main or NPC, I'll do such a good job. Oh, thanks. Yeah. And I don't mind if he hears any of this, because this is stuff that I've talked with him about. And like, I feel as though he definitely, you can tell he's a, when you hear more about behind the scenes Enoch, you can tell that he's a newer player, because he's kind of biting off a little bit more than he can chew, because he's trying to have like too many elements to his character, which we all did when we started out. But like, I'm telling him where the lines are being drawn and what I can and can't help him with as a DM. you know, like I had to draw lines where it's like, hey Aaron, you're kind of world building, and that's my job. The DM's job is to world build, you know. You don't get to decide what factions exist and what the motivation. Like he mentioned, like, I want, you know, this faction exists because this existing NPC is doing this, and it's like, I'm gonna stop you there, Aaron. You don't get to decide what my NPC's motivations are. Though, keep in mind, there are games where that collaborative storytelling is a thing. Now, understand that there are games where the DM is like, hey, players, you pick what happens in the world, you know? And that is a totally valid way to play. But, you know, the simple fact of the matter is that is not this game. And I've told Aaron this as well. That is not this game. Maybe a different game, but not this one. I speak fast, sorry. I just trying to get my thoughts out quickly, you know. That is not most games, yeah, but there are games like that exists. I'm sorry if this is a bad question, but may I ask how you make NPCs? Do you make NPCs more important when players like them, or do you plan them being important? A little bit of both. I saw someone comment, thank you, Brandon Lemonhead, for the bits. Glad you're okay. Yeah, I'm okay, thank you. Someone asked that they would like a guide on how, or at least just how I do NPCs. And like, this is not just how I do NPCs, but just how I do characters in general, is every character I like to give a want and a reason behind that want. It doesn't have to be a good reason, and it doesn't have to be a good want, you know? Like, and even the reason part doesn't have to be big, which I guess you can just improv, like, if the players ever ask. Like, let's take No Tail, for example. No Tail wants to sell things. That is his MO. That is his one like kind of bottom line. He wants to sell things. He doesn't care who to. He wants to sell. And you know, you notice that he tried to sell to Luke, you know, the necromancer of all people, who's being captured. And he's like, do you want to buy something? You know, like, let's see. In fact, the quest line in session 9 that Luna went to that assistant wizard that was like, what does he want? He wants to live for himself. And then reason. Want and reason. Want, live by himself, not help anybody. Reason, he's tired of living for others. He's tired of casting spells and conjuring things for others, so he took an oath. Boom. Character. Motivation. Reason. Who else? Let's see. Olive, the shepherd for the Barkhide beetles. Wants to care for her Barkhide beetle. Reason, I guess I never mentioned it. Or rather, want to get out of Belcanus proper to help her. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really bad at explaining it live. But yeah, just give them a want and give them a reason. That's what I do anyway. I don't know if it'll work for you. It might not. But yeah. Tossing out all the negative aspects of the aforementioned persons, throw out the story and the out-of-character interactions and the consensual issues. What are your thoughts on the actual technical aspects of the game, such as map tools and the likes? It's fine enough. It was fine. I think map tools is a nice program. It's always frustrating to have to download yet another thing to play D&D, but that's not map tools' fault. But I think map tools is a very neat program with very interesting tools, and yeah, it's not my preference, but I think that's just because of legacy things. Like, whatever you start out with, you're gonna like the most likely. But yeah, all those bugs, if you watched that Pride of the Night Wolf game, I was having a lot of trouble because map tools was not working with my computer, and all the entire time I was just like, I wish we were just doing Roll20. Yeah. And the technical aspects, I mean, it was basically D&D 5e with a bunch of homebrew stuff. The clash mechanic I didn't enjoy very much. It was just kind of like, it felt like just kind of purely based on RNG. It's like, you either roll high and win, or you roll low and lose. Which I guess some people like that high risk, high reward thing, but I don't know. It was not my personal preference, is the charitable way to do it. but I much prefer having that be a organic thing that the players come up with rather than a, you know, set, pre-made. Once again, I guess just another sign that it has to fit within what the DM wants. Am I back home? Nope, I am at Echo's place. Echo's tiny house in the woods. Hello, Eric. What's my favorite candy? Ooh, that's hard. I'm feeling different days. If you're talking about salty candy, like chips, I really like Ruffles. Oh no. I like to categorize candies into different types of candies. Oh, Echo's here. Look, Echo is weird, everybody. My girlfriend. You 100%. You are my fucking girlfriend. Thank you for lending me your computer. And thank you for doing so much for me. I love you. Yeah, some of you may recognize Echo. She's been around in the YouTube space for a long time. But yeah, if we're talking about chips, I really like Takis. I think Takis are my favorite chip, despite the fact that they give me stomach aches and I have to sit on the toilet afterwards soon, like after I eat them. Yeah, she's wonderful. What else? Sour foods. Sour candies. I think not Sour Patch Kids. I'd have to look through all the sour candies I like. But I think there is a sour candy that I really like. Chocolates. I really like, oh, I had a bunch of them. Thank you, Slime, for gifting 5 subs. Thank you. It's wonderful. Very generous of you. There's a specific, that like square chocolate that has like caramel in the center. Not dark chocolate. Ugh, I don't like dark chocolate. Yeah. I forget what it's called. It's not World's Finest. I don't remember what it's called. Ghirardelli, maybe? I don't know. But anything that has caramel mixed in, I love that type of chocolate. Yeah, those are my favorite candies. I really like gummy bears. Toblerone? I like Toblerone. Toblerone's nice. Everyone acts like milk chocolate is disgusting and childish, but that's like insane. No, people do people? I thought people love milk chocolate. I think Hershey's. People don't like Hershey's, which I can understand. When you taste other chocolate, Hershey's is fine on its own, but when you compare it to other chocolate, it's like way worse. It's like other chocolate is so much better. Yeah, Hershey's is not. I think it's internet hyperbole that says Hershey's is awful and disgusting, but Hershey's on its own is fine. It's fine. Hershey's is weird, yeah. I eat extremely dark chocolate personally. I'll give those of you in the chat my spare dark chocolates. I don't like them. I do like white chocolate. That's another divisive one. I know just as many people dislike white chocolate as people dislike dark chocolate. Like, some people, white chocolate is too sweet for them. I love white chocolate. White chocolate is, delicious. I especially love white chocolate, Reese's. Oh. You mean vanilla? No, it's different. It's different. Although I do like vanilla as well. Yeah. Depends on the white chocolate. I guess that's true. How did we start talking about? Oh yeah, someone asked about candy. Anyway, so, oh, Svein, thank you for gifting 5 subs as well. Oh, thanks. But, let's see. Okay, so I told you what was happening. So now I'm gonna go on about, what the plan is and what's going to happen. So hopefully I can get a video out in the next couple of days. It's an animation and it's going to be promoting the Kobold plush, which you can get the link, !Kobold, to get the makeshift Kobold plush for a limited time. It's only going to be on store shelves for a limited time. I'm going to try and get the video out as soon as I can, as best I can. I'm animating as fast as I can. This thing is kicking my butt. There's gonna be an animation. I might stream, because I need to catch up on Final Fantasy XIV, because I'm behind. My plan was if I streamed every Saturday, I would make it just in time for Endwalker, but that is not going to be the case, so I might stream at my hotel. Because I'm going to Gen Con, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to Gen Con this coming Wednesday. And I might stream. I don't know. I don't know yet. Because to catch up, I would stream a long time, and, you know, I'm at a con. I want to go to the con. I'll be safe. I will be wearing a mask. Gen Con. Sorry, not Shen Con. Gen Con. What is Gen Con? It's kind of like a tabletop convention. Nerdy stuff. You know, D&D, board games. I'm gonna go see if I can get a Red Dragon inboard set. Generic convention. So if anybody else is going to Gen Con, maybe I'll see you there, take pictures. If not, understandable, please be safe. But the plan going forward, I'm gonna try and release the animation as soon as I can. No guarantees if I can get a second video out before I get home. I'll be home in time for Necrohunt on the 22nd, so mark your calendars. Necrohunt Session 7 returns on the 22nd. And let's see. Then after that, Fridays and Sundays. Oh man, Soul Sundays ended as soon as it began, but that's because my priority right now is Final Fantasy XIV. Fridays and Sundays will be dedicated to Final Fantasy XIV streams, where I'll be trying to get through the main story quest and also doing as many raids as I can, because the raids have story as well. But yeah, that is the plan. Yeah, I'll get there when I get there. Well, that's because, like, I have already finished the story up till Endwalker, and this is just a refresher for me. And also, I just enjoy reading through the story again. But, yeah. 7? Wouldn't it be 10? Oh, sorry, I meant Session 10. Did I say 7? Yeah, 10. Sorry, Session 10 will be happening on the 22nd. Final Fantasy will be on Fridays and Sundays. And, yeah, I'm gonna try and, get more videos out as best I can. I'm slowly chipping away at a script to Crap Guide to DPS. So Crap Guide to DPS is actually going to be 4 videos. And my plan is, the first one is going to be general DPS, right? In that everyone needs to DPS. I think it's an important video to make for people to understand that there are general things that every DPS needs to know, you know? Like, it's not the healer's job to make up your health for things you should have dodged, right? What else is there? It's your job to dodge mechanics, you know? Like, because if you don't dodge mechanics, you die, and that's 0 DPS. So there will be a crap guide to DPS generally, and that I'm gonna throw in a joke of, like, everybody's a DPS. Tanks, what do you do once you already have aggro? You DPS. Healers, what do you do when everyone's at full health? You DPS. And then after that general DPS one, I will do melee, ranged, and then caster. And then that will be the end of a crap guide to Final Fantasy XIV. Hopefully I can get it out faster than the crap guides to D&D, since, you know, I can lay in gameplay footage. And then hopefully by that time I'll also have my Final Fantasy XIV video essay finished, because I've been wanting to put that out, and I feel bad that it's like kind of hopping on the bandwagon, but maybe that means it's the perfect time. I feel really lucky that like 14 has this resurgence and that this is the perfect time to release it. I just need to work on it. It's a long video. If you are part of my Patreon, you will have been able to listen to the audio preview of it, but it's like, it's a monster. It's 40 minutes. But yeah, it's another video that's near and dear to my heart, that I'm putting a lot of emotion into, a lot of effort into. Yeah. What else? Would Melee be last after Reaper info comes out? It might be. I don't know. I might wait, because like, if I wait for it to be last, that gives me a better chance of seeing the what is it, the action preview. But I mean, how much can I really gain out of that, because it's not showing like how the class is played. So I'm just gonna have to try and make an evergreen joke, you know. Job preview should be this Friday. Oh really? Really? Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh man, I wish I could stream my reaction to that. Man. Fucking this hurricane, man. Oh, I hate this hurricane for putting me in this position. Man. Gameplay changes. Okay. I've listened to this stuff. Yeah. God, I missed so much. Oh man, it's crazy how much you miss in 1 week from being away from the internet. How much of fan art / fan creation of Balkanus Necrohunt do you see? I see all of them. As long as they are tagged with hashtag Necrohunt, I check the Necrohunt tag on Twitter all the time, and I see literally every single one, and I love them all. Is there anything we can do to help you out with your current situation? Nothing really. Don't worry about giving me money. I'm fine financially. It's the situation is just the situation, and like, unless you can somehow just like teleport me back home, it's fine. It's all fine. Just a few more days and I'll be flying out to Gen Con, which was always the plan. That was always the plan, no matter what. Then I'll be in a less woody environment, so maybe that might help me work a little bit nicer, because as much as the tiny house is nice, and Echo knows this, it is a little cramped, but I am getting work done. Yeah, and maybe the little time I can afford during Gen Con, I can like work in a nice and non-woody environment. I'm realizing that I'm such a soy boy city dweller that like, coming out even in this luxury cottage, essentially, I'm like, ew, bugs, ew, dirt, ooh, I must shower, I must make myself clean. But yeah, I was a camp counselor for a little bit, and like, this is a 5-star hotel compared to the cottages we were in, because basically what we stayed in were like wooden boxes with beds in them, and that was it. That was all we had. Like no AC, no fridges, no bathrooms. We had to go out to a bathroom building, and yeah, but it was like the premier camping experience, right? But this is very nice though, and I get to sleep in a little loft with her and cuddle, and it's very nice. She has a very cute dog, cute fluffy dog. It's got internet, so that's nice. Yeah. Where's a Hearthstone when you need it? I know, right? I actually reinstalled Hearthstone on my phone against my better judgment, and I haven't played it in like what, 5-6 years? Man, that got me through high school. Like every morning I would play it on my iPad. But I'm so behind on cards that I played it against bots, and I'm like, I got my fill. Yeah. and then I uninstalled it. I would play a Hearthstone ripoff just so I could be there when there's so few cards, because there's too many cards, man. I can't keep up. There's so many combos and like one-turn kills and all that nonsense. My latest deck that I remember playing was my Jade Shaman deck. So Magic the Gathering. I played Magic the Gathering with Echo and her sister, with some people. And it's just not the same. I prefer Hearthstone. I guess because I played Hearthstone first. Like it's fun. It's fun and all. Magic's fun and all, but I don't know. Just not being able to target creatures. It's just, ugh. It's because I played Hearthstone first. I think if I played Magic first, I would have preferred it, but I don't know. I just like the simplicity of Hearthstone. It's a bummer when you cannot keep up, yeah. Play Yu-Gi-Oh? No thanks. No thanks. Last question about Necrohunt. How do you go about writing characters and representation? They all seem so well written that you've been around, researched people extensively. They're all empowering and relatable every single time. You put a lot of effort into it. Well, there's a quote by J.R.R. Tolkien. No, sorry, not J.R.R. Tolkien. George R.R. Martin. When he was asked the same thing about how he writes women in Game of Thrones. And it's always just like, I always considered them to be people, you know? Like, just, I mean, all it takes is just put yourself in their shoes, right? And of course, that doesn't always work with everyone. So I think it is just my experience with those types of people and just realizing that they're just people. And I think it's just easy for me to put myself in other people's shoes and think, okay, well, how would I feel in that situation? You know, have some empathy. Empathy goes a long way in writing well done representation, in my opinion. Like, empathy and experience. If you can't empathize, then experience helps, you know? Ask those people, talk with those people, interview them. They would gladly, you know. And, you know, funny thing, this ties into when I was a camp counselor. I was a camp counselor for special needs, for kids with special needs, kids in wheelchairs, kids with Down syndrome, kids with spina bifida, I think it's called, kids who were blind, kids who couldn't walk. And I think that really got me to understand that it's just like, they're just people, you know? They're just people. And I guess that's it. You just have to experience. If you have trouble coming up with how it would be like putting yourself in their shoes, which, understandable, you don't know if that's the correct experience, ask them, talk with them, interview them. That's what Pixar does all the time. You know, like they interview people of the culture that they're doing, you know. That's what they did for Coco. That's what Disney did for Moana. They talk with people of that's why diversity is important, because they can have all these various different types of stories. Are you by chance familiar with anyone in the optimization community like Treant Monk and writers from Tabletop Builds? No, I've never heard of those. My biggest issue is having a variety of personality. Yeah, that is a struggle. That is a struggle that I have as well. But I think what helps that is the give them a want, give them a reason thing. Because just by giving them two characters with the same want but different reasons are, boom, immediately different personalities, you know? They can have the same want but different personalities, or different reasons, and that immediately gives them a different personality. But if you're talking about like cadence and how they talk, I can understand that can be a little bit harder. It just takes practice, really. I feel like there's a pianist NPC on the back burner that had to learn a whole new set because he knew his partner wasn't going to be able to perform. Yeah, it's rough sometimes. My cousin had a wedding and it was a Lord of the Rings theme. Oh, that's cool. Neat. I would love that. I would love like a fantasy medieval style wedding. It's just like Have a romantically charged sword duel. Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks, Echo. Oh, you're just saying that. Yeah, I think a character having a want really, really pushes, because an active character, you know, a character that makes choices is a lot easier to characterize, because we are characterized by the choices we make. What the choices we make says a lot about them. That's why I really like that side quest. You know, it's a small side quest, but I really like what it says about Luna's character, that she values personal freedom. The one where she had to go find that student and, you know, have them join back, and it was a no right answers quest. It was a quest with no correct answer. You either try to convince the student to go back to their wizard teacher to help people, but essentially be like, give up their life to help others and be miserable, or let them live their life and just be selfish, knowing that they have the power to help others. It's like, what do you do? There's no right answer, but the answer is, what does your character value? You know? I like quests like that, where it makes you question, okay, what would my character pick? What's important to my character? Yeah. And there's so much about Necrohunt that I like, and I like how it's turning out that I want to talk about. Like, even though it's my D&D campaign, there's so much I want to analyze about it, and themes about it that I want to talk about, but I gotta hold back until it's over. I gotta hold back until it's finished. Do you ever listen to music or find yourself talking as NPCs while doing seemingly innocuous things? Sometimes, yeah, if I need to try and get a voice down, or like a cadence or vocabulary. Which, speaking of, tip, if you're not very good at character voices, character vocabulary goes a long way. You know, like a character who might swear a lot and use a lot of slang is going to talk very differently than a character who is, you know, was raised in a royal family. They're going to have very different words that they use for the same thing. You know? One of the best tips we were told was a character is a MacGuffin in and of themselves. Why are they there? What is their goal? What happens at the end of the story lets them reach their goal. Yeah. Ever listen to Toho music? Yeah, I like Bad Apple. It was a good one. Or You and Owen Was Her. I had a big obsession with that song when I was younger. Necrohunt behind the scenes video / stream. After it's over, definitely. Yeah, exactly. Like Anna, like Boss is saying, "Milady, this food is divine," versus, "Damn, bitch, this food is bussin'." You know, there we go. Two different characters. Having trouble playing a neutral evil warlock. This whole thing is he is a massive superiority complex, but isn't just an asshole to everyone he comes across, especially when he needs them or can get something out of them. How do I ride that line with a provocative rogue? I don't know. See, evil is really hard to play. I don't have a lot of experience playing evil in a group setting. But one thing I mentioned in the Crap Guide to Alignment is evil can just mean methods. You know, like I consider torture to be an evil act. Even if you're torturing for the sake of saving an innocent life, you are torturing a person, you know, but that goes into the subjective understanding of what each person considers evil. So to that, I can't speak on, you know, everyone's going to have their own definition of what they consider evil. But I personally believe that you can do good you can have good ends, but evil means. Think about how your character goes about solving these problems and doing these quests to characterize them as evil, rather than doing evil things, right? Evil PC could save the world, but shank a homeless lad when no one's there to see. Yeah, well, that's another thing, right? Is why evil is hard is because the first thing we think about in evil is like senseless evil, right? The first thing we ever think about is, I stabbed this guy. Why? Because it's evil, lol. So random, but it's like, I feel like a better way to do evil is having reasonings behind it. Just like, you know, Which I guess there is the chaotic evil for, like, do I need a reason to be evil? I just enjoy it. But you have to think about, if you're trying to play this character realistically, how long would that character last, right? Doing senseless evil. How long would they last? How long before they would be captured and no one would trust them, right? If they betray everyone they come into, parlay with, if they stab everyone they meet, you know, without reason, how long would they survive? Not very long, I would assume. Yeah, chaotic evil is severely misunderstood with PC. Yeah, because the only example we have is the Joker, you know? Like, I personally, and I think you're fine to disagree with this, I personally would consider Deadpool chaotic evil. Deadpool is, I think, someone who's willing to lie, which is very chaotic. He's one who's willing to go back on his word, willing to do things for the sake of the moment, whatever benefits him at the moment, you know? Like, not really having a code or anything like that. But he does have loved ones. But I think evil characters can have loved ones. But what makes him evil is that Deadpool does not care about the collateral damage he does with his actions. He only cares about the end. He doesn't care about the means. You know, Deadpool would shoot some random person who is adjacently involved with hunting down Francis, right? You know, he doesn't care. Deadpool doesn't care if this person might have a family or, like, killing them might affect a larger thing. He's just like, you know what? This is gonna benefit me right now, and that's all that matters, you know? You know, he would steal a car, even if that car was the car of the doctor that was on the way to cure cancer, and the cure needed to get to the hospital, and he needed that car. Deadpool's like, I don't care, I need this car now. He would steal it. Because that's Deadpool, you know? That is not to say Deadpool will not do good things. And that's where alignment fails, is like, alignment should be fluid. Characters' alignments are fluid. Characters themselves are fluid. They grow. They do things outside of alignment. Sometimes. And it doesn't mean that they're not that alignment, or it doesn't mean that they are that alignment. Alignment is stupid. Isn't he a more true neutral then? No. There's a character from Star Trek that I would consider true neutral, because a true neutral doesn't really take sides, you know? They do things that maybe benefit them one moment, or do something that would benefit someone else because they see, you know, they're skeptical of everyone, right? They're skeptical of the good guys, and they're skeptical of the bad guys. Not Data, there's someone else. I forget. They're the one... Matt Colville has a great video on it. I forget. It's a very Data-like character. He's got gray skin, but it's not Data. Scotty, Quark? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm gonna look it up. Let's see. Star Trek gray skin guy. I know that probably doesn't narrow it down. God, I'm not gonna be able to find him, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. But it's the guy who's basically... There's one scene where he's talking with another shipmate, and the shipmate's like, well, why didn't you help us? And it's like, why should I help you? It's like, are you gonna help the bad guys? It's like, no, I'm not gonna help the bad guys either. Why should I help anyone? Are you gonna do something for me? You know? I don't know. Q? Maybe Q. Let me see. Garrick? Let's see. Star Trek Garrick. Yes! Garrick! Garrick, I would consider true neutral. He questions everyone's motives. He doesn't lean into any side. He isn't fully committed to lying or keeping to his word. Yes. I would consider Garrick to be true neutral. But even then, once again, Garrick does things outside of his alignment. And it's like, do we count his alignment as a sum of all the good and evil things that he's done? Or do we count, you know, that's the thing, is like, if I do a bunch of good things and then do a bunch of evil things, does that make me neutral? Or does that make me good or evil? Does that make me evil? I don't know. It's like, alignment is dumb and weird and stupid. And every time I talk about it, I go on a tangent. Sorry everyone. But, yeah. Anyway, I think I've covered all my bases. Just hanging out. Yeah, but to sum things up, I'm fine. I'm alive. Thank you again, Echo, for being a wonderful person to me and lending me this space and lending me your computer to stream, and feeding me and taking care of me, and scaring all the bugs. Echo is like a warrior destroying all the bugs to protect me, and protecting me from all the ickiness of the woods. Wrapping things up, gonna try and get a video out soon. Types of bugs, lots of stink bugs. For some reason, chat on screen is broken now. Yeah, I think that's a good sign. Try and get a video out soon. There we go, now chat's going. Not gonna be streaming again until... I'm gonna see if I can stream this coming next Saturday while I'm at Gen Con. Will be a short one if I do. Necro Hunt returning on the 22nd. And Fridays and Sundays dedicated to Final Fantasy XIV. And gonna try and get the crap guides written, at least, in the meantime. Hey Cammy! Just calling the stream soon. Yeah, thank you everyone so much for joining me. You are all wonderful. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for sticking with me despite the slow content. I've had a little bit of anxiety with my videos, just like... But I believe in Necro Hunt. The view counts be damned, I believe in Necro Hunt, and it could get 500 views and I wouldn't care. I like that I'm putting this out there and that there are people who care and that it's just out there in the world now and it's in the definitive version and I'm enjoying running D&D. Yeah, I'm having fun and I'm enjoying myself, and I thank you so much for supporting me in all that I do. Even if sometimes it's not exactly what everyone wants, but you're letting me do what I want, and that means more than I could ever let you know. Yeah. Let's see, who's on right now? Let's see who we can raid. Let's raid my good friends who are going on for special 24-hour stream, it looks like. Let's raid Whimsy Shrimp, shall we? And good friends. Raid Whimsy Shrimp. They're good pals of mine. They're doing a special 24-hour stream because they are going to be moving soon to a better environment. Yeah. But yeah, they're having lots of fun. They're playing speedrunners right now. Yeah. Anyway, him, Whimsy Shrimp, and Jetman J, they're both wonderful peeps. Thank you all so much for joining me. I will see you later. Bye-bye.